Sometimes what kills you isn't what the doctors are paid to look for. 20 specialists couldn't to save Victor Blackwell, a tech billionaire whose name once bent the world to his will, but the woman who mopped their floors saw what they missed. Victor lay dying inside the most expensive hospital suite on American soil, a $4 million fortress disguised as comfort. Mahogany-paneled machines hummed softly around him like obedient servants. Monitors blinked green and gold under ambient lights. His breathing was shallow. Each inhale sounded like it might be his last. Dr. Thaddeus Reynolds stood at the foot of the bed, hands folded behind his back, silver hair glowing beneath the recessed lights. He spoke in that quiet Harvard voice that never needed to be loud to command a room. "Gentlemen," he murmured, "conventional medicine has failed. Blackwell's liver collapses while his brain falters, his nerves misfire, and his kidneys decay. It is as if his entire body has declared war on itself." The specialists nodded solemnly, their eyes heavy with exhaustion. Days of scans, tests, biopsies had returned nothing but contradictions. Autoimmune, viral, genetic. Each theory dissolved like mist. And in the far corner of the room, invisible as wallpaper, Angela Beaumont dusted the bookshelves. 38 years old, single mother, night shift cleaner. A woman the world had stopped noticing. But inside her, still sharp, still alive, burned the mind of the top chemistry student Johns Hopkins had nearly had, before life had torn her away. She caught details the doctors didn't. The subtle yellowing of Victor's nails, the faint discoloration at his gums, the thinning patches at his scalp. Her breath caught. Arsenic. She knew it as clearly as her own name. But who would listen to the housekeeper? Angela said nothing. She simply watched. She cleaned. She remembered. 15 years ago, she had been the star of the chemistry department, a scholarship student with papers published before graduation. Then her parents died in a car crash, and 3 younger siblings stared at her with hollow eyes. She dropped out, became their parent, took night shifts, swallowed her dreams whole. Now, she vacuumed the quiet corridors of the luxury wing where billionaires went to die privately. They called it the sanctuary, but Angela knew better. It was a palace for fear, where money bought silence while men like Victor Blackwell clung to their last days like brittle leaves. Tonight, though, something smelled wrong. Not just antiseptic, not just cologne, something metallic, bitter. And there, on the knitstand, stood a jar of black glass. Hand cream, Swiss. She remembered it had sat in the bathroom yesterday, half used. Now it gleamed on the knitstand, positioned neatly within reach of Victor's hand. Angela filed the observation away. In chemistry, small inconsistencies often solve the riddle. Victor moaned in his sleep. Monitors beeped. A visitor entered, shoes clicking like gunshots on marble. Jefferson Burke, Victor's former rival turned compassionate friend. He spoke softly to the doctors, offering condolences, encouragement, hope. "I brought his favorite hand cream," Burke said, setting the black jar down with deliberate precision. "It comforts him." Angela saw the way he positioned it, centered, close, inviting. Her heart hammered. Later, in the break room, she opened her ancient laptop and began searching. Symptoms, absorption rates, dermal transmission of toxins, Burke's financials. She found rumors, hostile takeovers, old lawsuits, whispers of sabotage. Victor Blackwell had crushed Burke's company 10 years ago, left him disgraced. Burke had rebuilt from ashes, but perhaps not forgiven. Angela's mind connected the pattern like chemical bonds. He was poisoning him, slowly, carefully, through the skin, and no one saw it. No one but her. The next night, she altered her routine. Clean Victor's suite during his deepest sleep cycle. Check the hand cream's weight. Its smell. Its color under different lights. She confirmed it. Faint traces of a garlic-like odor, telltale of arsenic compounds. Her hands trembled. If she spoke up, she could be fired. Laughed out of the room, a cleaner accusing billionaires of murder? But if she stayed silent, Victor would be dead within days. At 2:17 a.m. alarms screamed through the sanctuary. Code blue. Angela dropped her mop and ran. Doctor swarmed. Victor was convulsing, his organs collapsing in real time. Liver enzymes critical. Kidney function failing, a resident shouted. Run full toxicology again, Dr. Reynolds barked. Angela stood in the doorway, invisible, trembling. She stepped forward. Stop using the hand cream, she said quietly. Everyone froze. The words were absurd, laughable, from her. A cleaner, Dr. Reynolds turned, eyes cold. This is not the time. It's arsenic, Angela said louder. Chronic arsenic poisoning. Look at his nails, the gums, the neuropathy, the alopecia. You're missing it because it's disguised as lotion. Silence. Then chaos. Samples were seized. Tests ran. Hours passed. And at 6:43 a.m., Dr. Reynolds entered the waiting lounge pale as parchment. He held the jar of black glass like it was radioactive. She's right, he whispered. Victor survived. Barely. Burke was arrested 3 days later. The hand cream contained custom-synthesized, arsenic-based compounds undetectable in routine blood panels, but unmistakable under advanced mass spectrometry. The police found a hidden lab in one of Burke's warehouses. He had been dosing Victor for months, hoping to kill him slowly and inherit joint patents through a forged codicil. The media descended like locusts. Tech titan nearly murdered by business rival. And in the eye of the storm stood Angela, stunned, clutching her mop like an anchor. Reporters wanted her face. Talk shows wanted her tears. Book publishers waived contracts. Victor, gaunt, recovering, summoned her to his bedside. I owe you my life, he rasped. You owe me nothing, she said softly. Just maybe see people like me. We exist. Victor smiled faintly. Then allow me to show the world you exist. 2 months later, Burke was sentenced to life without parole. His empire crumbled overnight. And Angela Beaumont walked across the stage wearing a lab coat, not a cleaner's uniform. Victor had paid her tuition in full, funding her long-abandoned education. She entered Johns Hopkins again, not as a ghost, but as a scientist. She visited her old hospital wing once years later. She stood in the quiet corridor where no one had seen her, and she whispered to the silence, You never saw me. But I saw everything.